Ladies and gentlemen, thanks to attend 2021 IPEC-China Excipients Regulatory Communication Conference. This is Cissy Wang, IPEC-China Chair. I take this opportunity to introduce IPEC Federation, IPEC-China, and this series of sessions. IPEC Federation is composed of 5 independent regional industry associations located in US, Europe, Japan, China, and India. Creation of more regional affiliations is under consideration. IPEC Federation is a global umbrella organization of the regional associations for promoting the quality, safety of pharmaceutical excipients. We recognize the drug market is global, including excipient sourcing. The global supply chain safety communication platform is very important. IPEC is a unique organization and covers the makers, distributors, and users of excipients. We share the same quality and safety vision and represent one voice on common global excipient issues. It is better to monitor regulatory development from multiple perspectives and geographies. IPEC-China is one of 5 independent regional industry associations in IPEC Federation. And IPEC-China is a non-profit association representing makers, users, and distributors of pharmaceutical excipients in China. Our vision is better promote mutual understanding in China and abroad of regulation, and the quality and safety of pharmaceutical excipients, enhance cooperation and exchange among industry players, provide proposal, suggestions on related regulatory requirements to authorities, and develop a series of technical guidelines and standards to improve quality, standards, and safety of excipients. Drug safety is very significantly important in China. China drug policy is focused on 4 stricter guidelines on drug safety, including the stricter standards, the stricter supervision, the stricter punishment, and the stricter accountability to ensure the drug quality and protect public health. IPEC-China hopes to establish the communication bridge to better introduce China regulatory management, compliance requirements, and regulation developments for better protecting patients through global partnerships in the innovation and safe supply of pharmaceutical excipients. IPEC-China Excipients Regulatory Communication Conference will focus on 3 module sharing and have below hot topics. The first topic is focused on excipients regulatory landscape in China. Speaker is Julia Zhu, our Director of IPEC-China. She is a Senior RA Manager from Carry China. Second topic is full overview of China Pharmaceutical Excipient GMP. Speaker is Shan Gao, our Chair of Quality Subcommittee. She is Quality and Regulatory Manager from Raw Farm. The third topic is Introduction to the Excipient section of the China Pharmacopoeia 2020. Speaker is Eileen Song. She is our Director of IPEC-China, and she is Senior Product Regulatory Expert from Dow China. The fourth topic is Excipient changes management in China DMF framework and its technical requirements. Speaker Martin Tao, our Director of IPEC-China. He is our manager from IFF. Last topic is related for practice on registration of pharmaceutical excipients in China. Speaker Florence XU. She is our Director of IPEC-China, also is the Chair of Regulatory Affairs Subcommittee. She is from Colorcon, China. Welcome to attend 2021 IPEC-China Excipients Regulatory Communication Conference. If you have any questions, welcome to contact IPEC-China for further discussion. Thanks for your attention. Let's begin. Thank you very much.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the IPEC-China Regulatory Communication webinar. I'm Martin Tao, a Regulatory Affairs Manager in IPEC-China, as well as the board member of IPEC-China. I started my job in the middle of the 1990s. It led me an eyewitness for the development of regulations of China pharmaceutical industry. It is my great honor to have this opportunity to share my understanding to the excipient change in the China DMF system and some practical cases. Here comes the agenda of today's presentation. I would like to use 4 aspects to explain this topic. Number 1, the glance at the China excipient regulatory. Number 2, the major principle and the rules in China pharmaceutical excipient-related regulations. Number 3, practice on application forms and the dossier. The last one, technical assessment to this change. This is the first part. Let's review the China pharmaceutical excipient regulation development history. We can divide it into 2 stages. This is the first stage, or we can say it is the stage earlier than 2014. There are only a few regulations or policies, especially for pharmaceutical excipients. We can find in the 2001 China Drug Administration Law, there is just a definition of the term pharmaceutical excipients. In 2004, China FDA required that all the excipients in China market needed to get the pre-approval by the local or the central pharma authorities. Then, the detailed technical requirements to the application dossier had been announced and been used for more than 10 years. The recommended guideline of the pharmaceutical excipient GMP from China FDA had been issued in the 2006. The basic content had taken reference from the first edition of the IPEC GMP guideline. Now, let's move to the current stage, which began from the 2015. In the year of the 2015, the central government of China issued a set of the policy to reform the system of drug registration. Among them, we can find that the excipients would not be approved separately instead of the pathway of the boundary review. Then, in the 2016, China FDA issued a detailed requirement on this for the trial implement in the industry because this is a so big change for all of us. Still in this year, the first version of the requirement of the excipient reducing dossier to the excipient platform come into effective. In the next 2 years, we can see so many new policies, guidelines issued to let the whole systems running smoothly. All these have been fixed in the 2019 new drug administration law in China. After that, the new issued administration management, such like for the drug registration or the drug manufacturing, also have included such content. Till now, thousands of the DMF numbers have been granted in this platform. For the second part of this presentation, I would like to briefly introduce the major principles of the excipient-related regulations. Here is in short summary. There are 4 points: joint review, separated dossier submission, changing notification, and a DMF updated. Summary in the annual report. China DMF, the two-step registration process for the excipient supplies. The first step, obtain the tentative register number, but this number not published. It will include the product name, company name, the local one or imported one, packaging size, packaging format, and the said excipient, the administrative load, some basic information. In the second step, submit all this information and arrange the data in the dossier in the CD and send the CD to the CDE. And the CDE will complete the competence assessment to this dossier. If okay, publish the formal registration number, we call the DMF number. And our customers, all these documents are ready for the joint review or the co-review, all called bundling review, triggered by the drug product submission. If not okay, if we need to submit the additional or revised document or data to make the dossier accepted by the CDE. Now we go to the drug administration law. The base of all these policy is the drug administration law, which implemented in the 2019. We can find the requirement for the joint review or bundling review for this law in the article number 25. We can see that when this country's drug authorities get to review or evaluate the drug application, you should jointly review the relevant excipient. And in these articles, the terms of the excipient give the definition. It can be shown in this screen. For the Article 25, this is to show how the relationship between the user and the producer of excipient, that the excipient should meet the requirements for the medical purpose or for the pharmaceutical purpose. And there should be communication and the supply control for both these two parties, which link together. If there is a law, is the Tier 1 regulations, there are the Tier 2 regulations for the administration's measurement from the China Pharmaceutical authorities. From this, we can find the detailed requirement for the DMF policies. For these articles, they say the joint review should be conducted during review the registration of the pharma product, and the manufacturers should consider or conduct reviews the quality systems and the standard of the excipient we choose. And the CDE will publish the registration number, product name, enterprise name, production address, and other basic information in the public for the selection of the drug preparation registration applicants. In the next articles, this is say that when submitting an application for the drug, the applicant can use the excipient with the DMF number. If they don't use such excipient, in their new drug application dossier should include all the relevant excipient dossier according to this policy. Now, Tier 3 DMF policy is the detailed technical requirement and the procedure for the excipient DMF systems. And what shown in this screen, we can see the requirement for the change. First of all, in case of a change excipients, we should timely notify the relevant drug preparation manufacturers. And the registration data should be updated in time and reflected in the annual report. This is municipal in the DMF platform. For the overseas excipient supply, change the registration agency in China, they should submit the relevant document. I will explain this later in this presentation. Now, let's go ahead to the third part, the practical cases. We need to say thanks a lot to the members of the IPEC-China to contribute and share these items and of the information from their daily work. Now, let's begin. I believe most of our audience into this webinar are the international excipient suppliers or the drug companies. In some special case, we have chosen some excipients from our local small supply in the countries out of the mainland of China. Here, we can provide some information for helping them. The first step, you need an authorized registration agent. It should be a company which registered locally, can be an affiliated company in China in your corporate or group, can be a local CIO company, or can be your business partner in China, just like the distributors, importers. A POA, power of attorney, is essential for this company to get your official authorization. The second step, the agents need to open an applicant account in China Drug Authority's website. All the operations related to the excipient registration will be under this account. First, open the online service center from the MPA. Then there are 3 steps to fill validation information, to create the account, to complete the account establishment, like import the company legal entity name. It should be identity to the business license. So then, now, there is account number, password, and IU key will be allocated to this company as your agent. This is the next step to show how to log in. First, open the website of CDE and click the windows of the applicant. Here the dialog frame. You can import the login name, password, and get a validation code from your registering cell phone, short text, which sent by the CDE automatically. Now we came to the 4th step. This is the internal page for the applicant. When you click the excipient registration, a list of the excipient can be seen in this screen. If you want to start a new DMF registration, click here, register. But if you want to start a change, please click the button of change under the action. After that, we can find this dialog framework. The first line is this, the title is a change of excipient and packaging materials. Then the registration number, we call the DMF number, and the excipient product name will be shown here. And the third line, we can find that the type of the change. It is a significant change, middle, minor, and the basic information change. And there is the button for let you confirm if whether the registration form will be changed or not. In this blank, you should give the brief of the change and the reasons. Then you submit it. Now you can find the application form has been generated. We should emphasize here, and the cover page of the application form, the important notes. It is very useful to summarize the change and the technical justification and the major reason here to give the experts from the CDE a very brief and clear picture to describe their change and their reasons. The change of the China DMF. From the China regulations, we can find that they only say the changes and give the classification of such a change, but the explanation is just what according to our understanding and our understanding in what we get experience from our daily work. Therefore, one is the basic information, the minor change, moderate change, significant change. For the basic information, something like just the legal entity name of the owner, manufacturer, and the registering agent. The wording of the address of this legal entity, and the contact person, and the address of the owner and the agent. Maybe they can move to a new office, something like that. But for the manufacturer, they cannot move to the new one. And the agent, if we want to change use a new agent, it can be, say, there's a basic information change. The middle change is the grade of the product, and the new grade is the packaging size, because like a big one or small one. And the moderate change is the packaging format, testing method, shelf life, something like that. Significant change, the manufacture process, the standard, the new plant, and the production lines, etc. Now, for example, as a foreign excipient supply, how to change the local agent in China in the DMF registration process. First step, assign new agent to do this registration on behalf of you. A new POA is essential, is important. You need to sign it. Then ask this new agent to establish a new applicant account in the China Pharma Authority's website and to get a confirmation. You send a new company letter to the CDE that a new agent will submit the dossier on behalf of you and move all the information of the current excipients to the new applicant account. Through the new account, maintain the relevant information. In China, format of the dossier for the excipient. This is the format of the dossier for the excipient, DMF. And if you want to make a change, you should organize all these dossiers according to this format and submit in this order. And this will help you to do the work more easily. After the dossier for the change has been accepted, we can find here on the public side of the CDE, they have the registration data for the excipients. We can find the DMF number or registration number, the product name, the company address. Is this a product from an animal source or plant source or from a mineral source, something like that, and the packaging packaging format, packaging size, and some grade information, and what the date you made the update and make the change will be recorded here. And the status and the notes that if this DMF have been performed the joint or bundling and review together with our customers' new drug application prego. Now we go to the annual report. Announcement number 56, which issued in the 2019, 2 years before. In this announcement from FDA, they say an annual report shall be only the summary of the change which occurs and is updated in the said year, not the pathway to submit a new change. Annual reports are prepared and submitted separately according to each registry number and through the applicant window and the CD from the CD web. Here is the process. First, a change in excipients occurs, then classified into 4: basic, mirror, moderate, or significant. A DMF dossier submitted inform users, and together we do the communication assessment, and if necessary, a site inspection audit should be performed. Then, our customer makes the decision that if such change will trigger what kind of change in their final products, mirror, moderate, or major, and follow the corresponding treatment, like the annual report, provincial authority, and the central pharma authority approval. Here, we summarize our understanding. Each excipient has its special role in the pharmaceutical preparations to ensure the effectiveness and safety. If the excipient change, such change may change the key quality elements of a drug, thus affecting the effectiveness and the safety of a drug. Only the drug preparation applicant and the manufacturer can evaluate and give the final conclusion of the impact of the excipient change on the drug quality. So we can say the standard quality is not only the full, only the partial of this story. And we just in the middle of the process. The final decision should be made by the drug manufacturer. In short, there are no detailed technical requirements for the dossier to support the DMF changing from China authority currently. In current regulations, a full communication internally and externally is required. In China, the producer and the user of the excipient has discussed and formulated the technical guide for the pharmaceutical excipient changing study and draft vision. This is not the official document from China drug authorities. It's just the understanding and opinions from the industry. And IPEC also published the IPEC Significant Change Guide for Pharmaceutical Excipient. This is also a very good tool. Thank you very much for your almost half an hour's time and listening for my presentation. And now the new year of the 2022 is approaching. Please receive my sincere greeting for you and yours. A very happy new year. Any questions and comments, please send it to us, IPEC-China Secretariat. And here is the communication and the contact method. You can send an email and call us. Thank you very much. Again, any question, please tell us.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Excipient Regulatory Communication webinar. I'm Florence XU from IPEC-China, and I'm working in the Regulatory Affairs team of Colorcon in China. I believe you have received a lot of information and got a better understanding of the Chinese excipient regulations from the previous webinars. And today, In the last topic, I'm going to focus on the practice on excipient registration. Here's the agenda today. It has 4 parts. We will go through the whole process of excipient registration, starting from how is an excipient dossier prepared, submitted to CDE, and published on the CDE platform, and eventually referenced by drug applications through LOAs. Before we enter the first part, I would like to say that most of the regulations for practical requirements are published in announcements. You probably have heard about announcement number 134 and number 155 in 2016, and announcement number 146 published in 2017, and most recently announcement number 56 in 2019. Except the announcement number 155, all the other 3 announcements are currently effective, but they do have overlaps and conflicts, so we are referencing the latest announcement number 56 in the following slides. Okay, let's get into the first part, dossier preparation. In Article 1 of announcement number 56, excipient registrants register their products on the CDE registration platform. Drug applications are linked to the registered excipient dossiers when submitted to CDE. For excipients which cannot be registered on the platform due to special reasons, their dossier could be submitted together with the drug applications by drug applicants. So there are 2 ways to realize joint review and approval between excipients and drug applications. And the primary route is to let excipient register in CDE first and issue LOAs to drug companies, and drug applicants could submit their applications to CDE together with the LOAs. This is generally adopted. However, if an excipient is not able to be registered in CDE, its dossier could be combined with the drug application and submitted together to CDE. In this topic, we are focusing on the primary route. Article 2 stipulates the subjects of excipient registration. Excipient suppliers from Chinese mainland shall register excipient products on their own, and suppliers outside Chinese mainland could authorize their resident representative offices or Chinese agents to complete registration on behalf of them, and all the dossiers are written in Chinese. Excipient registrants are responsible for maintaining the register information on the platform and ensuring authenticity and integrity of the registration dossiers. For registrants outside Chinese mainland, the above responsibilities are shared with their agents in China. The first version of dossier requirements was published in announcement number 155 in 2016. But it has been replaced by the Annex 1 of announcement number 56 in 2019. Let's look at the details in Annex 1. First is classification. Excipients are classified as per their precedence of use in marketed products in and outside Chinese mainland, and their inclusion in pharmacopoeias. Class 1 and Class 2 are excipients without and with precedence of use, respectively. And Class 1 could be subdivided into 1.1, excipients of new molecular structure and beyond the scope of 1.2 and 1.3. 1.2 are excipients with simple modification to chemical structure of excipients which have precedence of use. 1.3 are co-processed excipients obtained from 2 or more excipients which have precedence of use. And 1.4 are excipients having precedence of use, but their route of administration are changed. Class 2 are subdivided according to their inclusion in different pharmacopoeias. If an excipient is not listed in CHP, USP, EP, BP, and JP, it is class 1.2. And 2.2 are excipients listed in one of USP, EP, BP, JP, but have not been used in marketed drug products in Chinese mainland. The 1.3 are excipients listed in one of the 4 pharmacopoeias, but not in CHP. If an excipient is listed in CHP, it is classified as 2.4. Class 3 are excipients with precedence of use in foods or cosmetics, which have national standards or industrial standards in China. And remaining excipients are classified as others. Annex 1 also requires registrants to provide an intended route of administration, such as parenteral, inhalation, ophthalmic, topical or sublingual, transdermal, oral, and others. And also the source of excipients, such as animal or human origin, mineral, vegetable, synthetic, microbial fermentation, or bioengineering, and others. So classification, intended route of administration, and the source of excipient compose the cover page of a formal excipient dossier. Next is the organization. A complete registration dossier consists of 8 sections. Section 1 is the basic information of registrant. Registrant name, address, manufacturing address, accurate to production workshop and production line are provided in section 1.1. 1.2 are certification documents, such as business license, drug manufacturing license, or other pertinent certificates, authorization documents, and special requirements for gelatin products. And 1.3 is storage address of the archived research documentation. Section 2, basic information of excipient, includes name, structure, and composition, physical, chemical properties, and basic characteristics, approval and usage information in marketed products in and outside Chinese mainland, and status of inclusion in CHP and other pharmacopoeias. Premix excipients are recommended to provide typical formulas as well as detailed information of each ingredient. Section 3 is about manufacturing. It includes manufacturing process and process control, such as process flow chart, description, batch definition, and equipment, and control of materials, control of critical steps and intermediates, process validation and evaluation, and development of manufacturing process. Section 4 is identification and characterization, and registrants are required to provide information and research data of the structure and physiochemical properties, impurities, and their functional characteristics in the drug products. Section 5 is quality control. It includes product specifications, validation of analysis methods, and justification of product specifications. And Section 6 is batch analysis report. According to Annex 1, COAs of not less than 3 production batches are required. the Section 7 stability study is a very important part of the dossier. In Section 7.1, Summary of Stability Study, it includes sample information, storage condition, testing methods and results, and train analysis of the study, as well as recommended storage conditions and shelf life. 7.2 is the stability data, and 7.3 are packaging conditions and label example. The last section is pharmacology and toxicology study, and data from researchers and literature are provided in this section. Please note that the above-mentioned dossier requirements are just basic for excipient registration, and CDE may require registrants to provide additional supportive data during the process of review where necessary. And high-risk excipients, such as excipients from animal or human origin, or for parenteral inhalation or ophthalmic use, their dossiers are recommended to be prepared based on the applications in the finished drug products. Actually, not all of the technical information are mandatory in the dossier. In this table, plus sign is necessary, and minus is unnecessary, while plus and minus means could be provided where necessary. If it is an excipient of new molecular structure, you can see here that almost every section is required. However, if it is a CHP excipient, almost 1/3 of the sections are not necessary to be present in the dossier. Apart from the excipients mentioned in the classification, there is a group of excipients which could be exempted from registration. In Article 10, pharmaceutical excipients that have been used in foods and drugs for a long time with their safety recognized may be exempted from registration. And drug applicants shall provide a list of the products and their basic information in the drug application dossier. However, CDE may require the drug applicant to provide further technical information where necessary during the process of review. The exemption list is updated by the CDE when appropriate. Currently, there are 6 categories of excipients on the exemption list. They are sweeteners, flavors and flavorings, colorants, pH adjusters, inorganic, source, and benzene-free inks for printing on oral dosage forms. Please note I didn't put all the excipients in this slide, so you better check in Annex 3 for the whole exception list. And these excipients shall meet current CHP where a monograph exists. If there's not, they shall meet food standards or current USPNF, EP, JP, or BP, and other excipients shall conform to pharmaceutical requirements. Please be careful if these excipients are used beyond the functionality scope described in Annex 3. They are also subject to registration. When a dossier is prepared, we come to the second stage, dossier submission. We cannot, before we submit the dossier to CDE, we have to apply for a registration number for the excipient. The way is to log in the electronic gate, which is called applicant window, and we are obliged to complete all the mandatory fields in the online application form. Information includes the basic information of the product, the registrants, manufacturer, and local agents. And please be careful that these information in the online application form are in sync with what will be shown on the CDE public platform. So we have to make sure to keep the information in the application form consistent with that in the dossier. A registration number is generated automatically after submitting the applicant form online. And a registration number consists of one capital letter F, which refers to excipient in Chinese, and 11 following numbers. Here's an example of the registration number. Excipient registrants are required to provide electronic dossiers as well as paper documents when submitting their registration to CDE. We need to use a CD as a carrier to record all the electronic documents, including sign, cover, and catalog, and the main body, section 1 to 8, and a copy of application form. Remember that all electronic documents are saved in .docx format. Paper documents include signed and stamped application form and stamped CD cover and portfolio cover. When these documents are prepared, we could post the CD and the paper documents to CDE. They are not submitted online. And make sure that the information in the electronic dossiers and paper documents are consistent. Okay, when the submission work is done, we're waiting for its public on the CDE platform. All the submitted dossiers are subject to formatted review. And in Article 6 of Announcement Number 146 in 2017, after receiving the registration dossier, CDE will review its integrity in 5 working days. For submission of incomplete information, CDE will notify the registrant of all the information required to be supplemented and/or corrected in one time. If the submission is found acceptable, CDE will post the registration information on public platform. In Article 7, Announcement Number 56, when a drug application is approved by CDE, its bundled registered excipient is regarded as having passed technical review, and its status on the public platform is indicated as A. If the registered excipient failed technical review or has not been bundled with a drug application, the status is I. So you can see that the initial status of a public registration number is I, which is totally different from active and inactive of DMF in US. Article 5, Announcement Number 56. The regulatory authority is responsible for keep confidentiality of technical registration dossiers, as well as technical information on the registration platform. Disclosed information are limited. Here's a screenshot of the public platform. You can search the excipients by its name or company name or registration number here, and you can filter the results by status A. Let's look at the disclosed information from the left. First is registration number. Second, the product name. In column 3 and 4 are company name and address. They are displayed in a sequence of registrants, manufacturer, and agent in China. Next is the source, packaging, specification, and grade of the excipient. This is the update date. It shows the published date of the original submission or change submission. So if we submit a change to CDE, we could judge whether it is accepted by CDE from the column of update date. But the status column is very important. Only A or I is shown in this column. And A means approved for use in marketed drug products, and I means has not passed joint review with drug application. The last column is notes. According to Article 8, Announcement Number 56, CDE has converted the previous license numbers into the current system and assigned new registration numbers to each of them. So that's why you could see that some of the excipients have the same excipient name but multiple registration numbers, and you could identify the converted numbers from the previous license number shown in the notes column. When an excipient is public on the platform, it's the end of the original submission, but the beginning of maintenance and changes. In Article 15 of Announcement Number 56, changes in pharmaceutical excipients and pharmaceutical packaging materials should be updated on the registration platform timely. And these changes are also summarized in the annual reports of the year and submitted to CDE within next Q1. And Article 16 said, in the case of changes to the excipient, the registrants thereof shall proactively conduct related studies and timely notify relevant drug manufacturers. Once notified by registrants, drug manufacturers shall evaluate or study the impact of these changes on the quality of their drug products. If quality is affected, a supplement application of the drug products shall be submitted to CDE. Just now we mentioned annual reports. Currently, there's not an official template for the annual report, but the basic requirements are listed in Annex 4. First is the time. Registrants shall submit annual reports of the last year through applicant window within Q1 every year. Second is about change. The annual report should include a summary of product changes in the year before. A relevant statement should be provided if no changes were made. The third part is drug information. The annual report should include related drug product information such as company name, drug product name, etc. Because registration number is product specific, so annual reports are prepared and submitted separately under each registration number through applicant window on CDE website. The last part is LOAs to drug applicants. The first occurrence of LOA was in Announcement Number 146, 2017. In Article 9, if a drug applicant is not at the same time the registrant of the excipient, it shall provide a letter of authorization from the registrant during submission. Of course, in most cases, a drug applicant is not the excipient registrant at the same time. So LOAs are generally adopted and very important. The Annex 2 is a template of LOA, which have been used by most of the excipient companies up to now. Announcement Number 56 in 2019 has inherited the requirements and importance of LOA. The official template of LOA is in Chinese, and I put a translation here for your reference. You can see from the template that is quite different from the FDA LOA template for DMF. And basic information listed on the LOA includes company name of the excipient registrant or the authorized agent, an aim of NNH or drug applicant, name of the drug product. And the second paragraph includes name of the registered excipient product, the route of administration, and the registration number. At the bottom of the LOA, it requires a signature and a company stamp, as well as a record of date. Please note that this template is only for reference, and multiple products could be provided in a form of list. And a power of attorney from the registrant is necessary if the LOA is provided by the supplier, not the registrant. Technical review of registered excipient dossiers is not started until joint review with a related drug application. In Article 44 of Drug Registration Regulation in year 2020, CDE will update the registration status of excipient which has passed the joint review on the public platform. And for excipients which has failed joint review, the registration status remains unchanged and related drug application is not approved. So this article has described the relationship between excipient registration and drug application very clearly. They are closely bundled. If a drug application is not approved by CDE, the status of the excipients remains I. On the other hand, if the excipient has not passed the joint review, it will impact approval process of the related drug application. Well, that's the end of our topic. I hope you've enjoyed it. Any question you may have on this topic or the previous presentations, please feel free to contact us. I put the contact information of IPEC-China in this slide. Thank you for listening. See you next time.